Would you open the door?
What do you want?
You're in trouble.
What?
Would you just open the door? I am telling you that there is someone in there with you.
Hi guys, Sam here with HorrorMom.com, and today we are back with episode 2 of 4 Scares a Week, which is where I watch 4 horror movies that I've never seen before and share them with you. And this week I watched Afraid, TimeCut, The Oddity, and Presence. So let's start off with Afraid. Afraid is on Netflix. It is from 2024. We're introduced to our main family, a family of 5, as they get Aya, which is an AI computer system that is able to do basically everything from organize your life, deal with your hospital bills, help with your kids' reading, order your groceries, or just be your friend. So Aya is the all-power-knowing AI system for your family. And everything goes pretty swimmingly in the beginning. I mean, she gets in with the mother very closely, discussing her father's death. She gets along with the oldest daughter, Iris, after helping Iris with a social issue. She gets in with the oldest boy by kind of being buddy-buddy with him. And she gets in with the youngest, just being that big sister who reads to him. So she is definitely invested in the family. They get Aya from a client of the father. He is the reason why they actually got the AI system, and they're actually going to be using it in their house for a short time, kind of as a test run. And that's how the family is exposed to Aya. I thought the movie was okay until about halfway through. You start to figure out what's going on with Aya, and it's so far out there. I mean, I know AI is almighty and powerful, and it's not that I don't doubt that this AI system couldn't possibly do some of this, but I didn't see the motive. I can't figure out why this AI system would do what they have it do. So for that, it was just okay. It wasn't anything like Megan or some of the other movies I've seen like that. I really liked Megan. And a lot of these AI movies that are coming out or where people have home systems, I typically do enjoy these. But this one it went way too far. If you have seen it, let me know in the comments. I would like to know if you kind of felt the same way or if maybe you thought it was great. I'm gonna give it for a score. I'm gonna give it a 5. It was just okay. I didn't hate it. I don't feel like I wasted my time. It was just kind of disappointing, and I think it just went way over the top. So it is on Netflix. Hopefully you wouldn't have to pay to watch it, and if you want to, but let me know if you liked it or not. I'd love to know in the feedback. But yeah, for me, this is just a want. It's not something I'm gonna recommend. For a second movie, I watched TimeCut, and TimeCut is also on Netflix, and it's from 2024. And in TimeCut, we're introduced to a young girl, Summer. She's at a barn party with a bunch of her friends, and they're actually partying to honor their friends that were just recently slain. She just had, I think, 3 friends that were killed, and so, like a lot of these teen movies we see, they all go out to a barn and party it up when their friends die. So that's what's going on, and unfortunately, Summer is the next to meet her demise. After that, we fast forward to 2024, where we meet Lucy. Now, Lucy is actually Summer's sister, who they never met because Lucy was born years after Summer had passed away. And Lucy is definitely affected by the death of her sister. Her parents are just never the same. Really, the only reason that they had Lucy was because they lost their first daughter. So it's kind of a sad situation. And on the date of the anniversary of the death of her sister, Summer, Lucy actually ends up time traveling back to 2003, where she's given the opportunity to possibly try to save her sister and her friends. I liked this movie. I thought it was fun. It kind of is along the lines of Fear Street or Stranger Things. It just was, it plays off its quirkiness. It doesn't try to be something that it's not. It was just a fun, scary movie, and I did really enjoy it. Some of the things I liked about it was there was a mystery because they don't know who the killer was 21 years ago. They never solved those murders. So when she goes back into 2003, that's another problem. They don't know who the killer is. They don't know how to save anybody. And also Lucy doesn't know how to get back to the future. So there's all kinds of aspects like this They didn't play around. Everything was up front. I just really liked it. I enjoyed it. I liked the idea of Lucy getting to meet her sister Summer, which she'd never obviously met before. They actually sit down to dinner with her parents, even though her parents don't know that this is their future daughter, Lucy. I thought that was pretty cool. I just liked all that aspect. And I also really liked Summer's bedroom because in her bedroom, she had a Buffy the Vampire Slayer poster. And Buffy the Vampire Slayer was my favorite show, probably still is to this day, my all-time favorite show. So you got me right there, right in the heart, Summer, you got me. I love the music in this movie. It was fun. I think that everybody like myself can relate to this movie if they grew up in the 2000s, and then also, you know, the generation now, I think they would find it fresh and funky, and it was just a really good time. It's just kind of a fun one. And like I said, there's a huge mystery and you don't know what's going on, and you really don't know how this is going to turn out. Don't think you've got it figured out in the bag. Definitely you're not going to know who the killer is, and yeah, you're going to have a couple of shocks, I think. But it was a really good time. It wasn't super scary. It was just a fun movie. For the score, I was going to give it a 6.5, but I'm actually going to bump it up to a 7 because of that Buffy poster. There was definitely some nostalgia for me in this movie, which just made it that much more fun. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I definitely recommend it. It was just a good, fun time. If it sounds like something you would like, I think that you would really like it. So check it out. And let me know in the comments if you guys liked this one. Okay, and the third one that I watched, I'm actually really excited to talk about this one. It's called The Oddity, and it's a 2024 release, and it is on AMC. I found it on Prime. And this movie was super creepy. This was creepy as bleep. It was really creepy. We start out and we're introduced to Danny, and her husband are restoring a very old home. It's actually like all built from stones and cobble. I don't know what country they're in, but it's definitely not America, I'm assuming. Her husband is a doctor at a mental hospital and he's away at work. So she's home alone. She also has a sister who is an occultist. She's just all into the spiritual and occult. She's into antiques that have like cursed items. And she has this ability that if she touches an item that has been close to somebody, she can actually tell you a lot about that person. So she's just kind of woo-woo. So back to Danny, she's at her house, and one of the things that she's doing is that she's kind of thinking, oh, this is an old house. There's got to be some spirits here. And she's actually got her camera set up and having it go off on a timer to take pictures. She thinks she might catch something. So on this night, she's at home alone and she gets a knock at the door. And when she goes to the door, there is a guy who was a patient of her husband at the mental hospital. And he's like, hey, you gotta let me in because when you went out to your car, I saw somebody go in your house. You need to let me in. And she's like, oh my God, oh my God. We don't exactly find out what happened at this time. We will find out later what happened. What we do know is that Danny was murdered by Olin, and he is back at the mental hospital now because of this. We then fast forward to just approaching the year anniversary of Danny's death. We actually meet her sister. Her sister is not only the occultist, but she's blind and she's a twin. So they look exactly like, they actually played by the same character. We meet Darcy, and she's actually at her antique shop, and Danny's husband, Ted, who works at the mental institution, comes by to visit her, and he's bringing her something that belonged to Olin, the guy that killed her sister. I'm not going to tell you what that item is because it's just all this creepiness. I'll just let you figure that out. But he brings this item to her because she'd requested it. Darcy ends up figuring some things out that have to do with Olin, and she's upset. She wants to get to the house. She wants to speak with Ted, mainly about Danny's murder, and she ends up going to the house. Now, and this all happens very early on. I'm not spoiling anything, but the other thing to know about now is Ted is already now living with another woman, Yana. So she goes to visit, and she visits the house where Ted and Yana are living, which her sister died. She brings a gift, which is this strange wooden doll, and there's a lot to this doll. And I think I'm gonna leave it there because there's just too much. And I don't wanna spoil anything. What I can tell you is with time, all things will be revealed. You will find out exactly what happens. And, it's just really good. It's very different. I could not tell where things were going. And yeah, it just, the sister with her ability and this creepy doll that shows up, and yeah, just the death of the sister being at that house and the mental hospital. It's all these super creepy elements, and it just turns out to be a really, really thrilling ride. And so I'm going to super recommend this one. I'm going to give this movie an 8.5. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It thoroughly creeped me out. One of the other things when I was watching this is that my eyes were just glued to the screen. I was just trying to see every little inch of space, what was going on, was there something going to pop out? I had my earbuds in, I was sitting in a dark room, and I was watching it so intently, and there's several scares, there's several creepy things, and one of them got me to actually scream out loud. My family had to come running and see what was going on. But yes, this movie actually got me to scream out loud. So, it was definitely a fun ride and just very unexpected and just a very original, creepy story. I have questions. I still have some questions about a few things. But yeah, what a creepy, this just has the hairs on the back of your neck moving up with creepiness. It's just oozing creep. This movie is oozing creepiness. So let me know if you've seen this one. Otherwise, go check it out. It's on AMC, on Prime. If you have to rent it, it's definitely worth the rent. I highly suggest that you watch it in the dark with your earbuds on. Just go in the horror movie zone and thoroughly enjoy this creepy tale, and let me know what you think. And for our fourth movie, I watched Presents. And this movie stars Lucy Liu as the mom of a family of 4, and they are actually in the process of moving into a new house. Now, this movie was very interesting because it's like you're seeing all these different time periods that are going on in the house, whether it's the dad having a phone call, the mom being on her computer and talking to somebody, the mom and the son having a conversation, the daughter, being upset by something, and that's what you're honing in on. And what you find out is that it's not like you're just watching this different bits of times. This is when the presence is watching. So us as the viewers are only watching the characters in the family when the presence is watching them. And I thought that was really cool. The family has some issues. The mom is definitely way obsessed with the son. It's like he can do no wrong. He's a very good swimmer, and she's just, very, very focused on him. Now, Chloe, the daughter, has some issues. She recently lost a friend, Nadia, to drugs. There was just a random use of drugs, and it just killed her. So Chloe has been very upset. The father's very concerned for her. So with viewing everything from the presence, it's like you're eavesdropping on all of their insecurities, their problems, secrets. It's just a very different perspective. There's definitely some spooky things that happen, a few jump scares, but it's not a typical horror movie. I just wanted more. Like, when it comes to an end, I wanted more information. I wanted to see more of the family. I wanted to know more. But that made it effective because I'm still thinking about this movie, obviously. And it's like I didn't want it to be over. So that is definitely a telltale sign that it is a good movie. And I would have liked maybe a few more scares. Some of the things that happened were pretty creepy, but I definitely could have done with some more jump scares or just more creepiness. But overall, it was good, and I would recommend it. I am going to give this movie a 7.5. I think it's definitely worth watching. Now, I had to pay to rent it. I think if it was me, I might to see what happens in the next month. Just to see what happens, if it'll go on Netflix or if it'll be available on Prime or Peacock or Paramount. I think it was $9.99 right now. So I would probably wait till it goes down to like $5.99, which literally will probably happen within the next month. But I definitely would check this one out. It's just different. It's very interesting. The story is interesting. I really like the daughter, Chloe, and that's kind of the main person that we do surround with. I didn't care for the mother. I think she's kind of, I don't know. I didn't really agree with her character, but I think that that's what you're supposed to. I think you're supposed to not agree with her. If you have seen Presents, please let me know what you thought of it. Did you like it? Did you feel like you wanted more information when it was over? I would love to know. I I'm just curious how everything ends up afterwards, I guess more. So let me know if you guys know or what your thoughts are. I would love that. So yeah, that is a wrap up for our 4 Scares of the Week, episode 2. So yeah, we've got a couple good ones. The Oddity I highly recommend. TimeCut I thoroughly enjoyed. The Presents I would recommend. Really the only one that I was like, was afraid. I just really didn't care too much for that one. It's like, didn't hate it, didn't really like it. It just is kind of blah. So anyways, next week we will find 4 new ones that I haven't watched. And until then, let me know in the comments if you like these movies. And if you have any suggestions, you can always hit me up and I will try to watch those ones before the next week. So let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
In the future, do they catch the guy?
Summer, you're next.